Andrea? Andrea, you are muted. Andrea?
She wrote in the chat that she has to fix her microphone.
Okay, right. Okay, take your time then. Should I invite, can I invite the Prasamsha first? Andrea may need to take a little more time for fixing the mic. So Prasamsha, if you don't mind, could you share your slide and start your talk?
Because of COVID, I can't speak properly, but I'll try my best.
Yeah, no problem. I understand your difficulties.
Yeah. I think I have mailed you just before my presentation. I have mailed you.
Do you want me to share yours?
Yeah.
Okay, just wait. Prasamsha, the present PPT slides you mailed me has only one slide actually. So probably you need to check and send me again.
Then can I share my screen and present?
Yeah, you can share your screen. No problem.
Yeah, so can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it, but it's coming too small. So probably others cannot read lines in your slide. So let me share yours. I guess this is the what I received from you recently. Is this fine for you?
Yeah. Yeah, so I tried my best. So I'm talking only about the space exploration by India paper, the Indian space program. So the next, genesis of India space program. The space research activities were initiated in India during the early 90s. The picture in the side, it's the Genesis St. Mary Magdalene Church in the fishing village in Thumba in Kerala served as the main office for the scientists in early stage of Indian space program. With the live transmission of Tokyo Olympic Games across the Pacific by the American satellite Syncom 3, demonstrating the power of communication satellites. Dr. Vikram, the founding father of Indian space program, quickly recognized the benefits of space technologies for India. Space Research Organization carried out 111 spacecraft missions and launched 79 missions and planned for several missions. So talking about organization structure, here are Prime Minister, Space Commission, Department of Space, and in the left side we can see PRL, NARL. So I'll explain thoroughly. ISRO, the main, it's an Indian Space Research Organization, Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center. The left one in space, PRL, it means Physical Research Laboratory. NARL means National Atmospheric Research Laboratory. And the third one is Northeastern Space Application Center. And the IIST means the Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology. On the right side, we can see Andrix. It's the Andrix Corporation Limited. And the second one is New Space Indian Limited Center. And the next slide. What is ISRO? The Indian Space Program. It's the Indian Space Research Organization, which is founded in 1969 to develop an independent Indian space program. The Space Commission and the Department of Space were established by the Government of India in 1972. The goal of self-reliance is directed to main thrust being satellite communication for various applications, satellite remote sensing for resources survey and management, environmental monitoring, and the third one is development and operationalization of indigenous satellite for providing these space services. Is the first satellite which was launched by the Soviet Union on April 1975 by Aryabhata. Indian Space Research Organization was formed in 1969. ISRO develops and delivers application-specific satellite products and tools to the nation, which broadcast the communication, weather forecast, geographic information systems, navigation, and many more. Also, ISRO maintains one of the largest fleet of communication satellites and remote sensing satellites that caters to the ever-growing demand for the fast and reliable communication and Earth observation, respectively. Also, the ISRO owns lunar and interplanetary missions, along with the other scientific projects, encourage and promote science education, apart from providing valuable data to the scientific community, which in turn enriches sciences. Next slide. Conclusion of Indian Space Research Organization. It endeavors to optimize and enhance its technology as the needs and ambition of the country evolve. It is moving forward with the development of heavy lift launchers, human human space flight projects, reusable launch vehicles, semi-cryogenic engines, and the two-stage to orbit vehicles development and use of composite materials for space applications. It's the ISRO launches German instrument on Rohini rockets. Rohini is a series of satellites launched by the Indian Space Research Organization. It consisted of 4 satellites, each of which launched by the satellite launch vehicles, and the 3 of which made it successfully to orbit. Also, it launched 3 Rohini surroundings rockets carrying a set of 5 scientific instruments developed by German and other European space science laboratories. The next slide. It's the picture of the next slide, Professor. Yeah, it's the picture of Prime Minister visiting ISRO. The next file. Insight helps save British teenager. Actually, there is one incident how British teenage girl was saved. It's a 16 years old British girl who suffered from acute altitude sickness while trekking in the foothills of the Himalaya as a part of expedition organized by the World Challenge Expedition was rescued by the satellite-aided search and rescue system of INSAT. The girl Rachel suddenly suffered from high-altitude pulmonary edema when the team was at height of 16,000 feet to 120 kilometers. At last, the Indian Air Force rescued the girl, and it's you can see INSAT at the top. The next file. COPAS-SARSAT is a satellite system designed to provide distress alert and location data to assist search and rescue operations using spacecraft and ground facilities based on the signals from destroyed beacons on 406 MHz on or 121.5 MHz. Also, COPA's SARSAT has demonstrated that the detection and location of distress signals can be greatly facilitated by global monitoring based on low spacecraft in the near polar orbit. The satellite system was initially developed under a memorandum of understanding among agencies of the former USA, Canada, USSR, and France signed in 1979. These are the centers of India Space Research Organization. The first one is Liquid Propulsion System Center. It's the center of excellence in the area of liquid propulsion for the ISRO launch vehicles and spacecraft programs. URSC it's located at Bangalore, which is engaged in developing satellite technology and implementation of satellite systems, scientific, technological, and application missions. NRSC is the center which is responsible for remote sensing satellite data acquisition and processing data dissemination, aerial remote sensing, and decision support for disaster management. Uh, DSU it's involved in the system of it's involved in the system definition, planning, and implementation, and socio-economic reservation and evaluation of satellite based on societal application. Is the Entrix Corporation Limited, which was incorporated as a private limited company owned by Government of India as a marketing arm of Indian Space Research Organization in September 1992. It's the Professor, next slide. The vision and mission of ISRO, design and development of launch vehicles and related technologies for providing access to space. Its design and development of satellites and related technology for Earth observation, communication, navigation, meteorology, and space science. Space-based applications for societal development, and the last one is research and development in space science and planetary exploration. And the next slide. Objectives of ISRO: its design, development, and realization of communication satellites, design, development, and realization of Earth observation satellites, development of navigation satellite systems, of development of satellites for space science and planetary exploration, applications, space-based systems for societal applications, advanced technology and new initiatives, training, capacity building, and education promotion of space technology. And the last one is infrastructure or facility development for space research. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. This was it, Professor.
Okay, great. So we heard about how India developed its satellite program. Yes, so it was great to know about how the entire program has been developed by the Indian Space Research Organization. So now I invite the last speaker. I hope you fixed your mic, Andrea. Andrea, could you share your slide and start to talk? Yes, it's coming very clear. Okay, great. Thanks for your presentation. So we have heard the three speakers talk, and I understand that this field, like satellite technology and the other science technology related items, are probably familiar in broader sense, but it is very hard to dig into this dig into the issues in more details. So it was actually very great to know, I think, for you to learn about how the technology actually can give you a sense to forge a regional cooperation, or maybe the items to cause a regional conflict either. So generally, when we talk about the regional conflict and cooperation, it's mostly related to the politics and economy, but actually the issues specialize, including the satellite technology, and also the ROSI covered the pretty other technologies, including the AI and the 5G technology. All these things can be actually it's a very sensitive issue related to the national security. So it is a source of the regional cooperation and conflicts. So I will open the floor now. So if you have any questions to the either of speakers or to all, then please don't hesitate to raise your hand. And any questions or comments would be fine, even if it's not related to the specific knowledge. So if you want to know anything trend changing, or any discussions you have encountered, or any concerns you have, or any question mark you have regarding the recent issues or the technological issues, then you can raise your hand, and then I can open the floor for you. No? Is this a burden for you to raise any questions regarding this issue? Anyone? No one? Or want to wrap up the class? Okay, I will just summarize it, and I will wrap up this class. So the last question raised by the Andrea was also very interesting, and it can be applicable to the all other questions raised by the Rosie and the Prasancha. That whether the certain country like Pakistan need to accept to use the SARC, that is called SARC, South Asian Countries Association is a SARC satellite, or the South Asian satellite named by the Indian government. So actually, all the data transmitted through the satellite technology is related to or non-related to the national security, but it can be very sensitive to deal with national security. So if a country is depending or using the other country's satellite, that means that it need to open the all transmitted data to the other countries, and you actually don't have a kind of power or to screen that whether your counterpart screened your data or not. So it is a quite tricky issue, and until unless one country is making a kind of military alliance, that the one hesitate to participate or join the kind of collaboration, especially the technologies or related to the satellite and the 5G or the AI. So the Rossi mentioned about the Sino-Russian cooperation, military technology cooperation, including the 5G, AI, and satellite technology. So even though two countries had a lot of ups and downs, and then two countries actually have maintained the trade trust deficit, but still their trust deficit is not riskier than what they have toward the U.S. and the U.S. allies. So what China and Russia is doing is that they are making a cooperation item by item, case by case. So if the case meets a mutual interest, then two countries agree to forge a cooperation. Otherwise, other issues, they both of them are actually agreed to condone to not to raise any issues against each other. At least that is the one principle they maintain to maintain the cooperation against the other countries.